Good morning. Homecoming disaster. A popular venue at Clemson University was a scene of chaos after the floor caved in. We talked to a Clemson student who has been to that venue before, and we'll bring you that exclusive interview coming up.
And later, a celebration 10 years in the making. Find out how this past Saturday's halftime show honored kid captains past and present.
We'll tell you more on how the Iowa defense shut down Maryland this weekend.
Clear skies to start off your week, your extended forecast heading your way.
We have these stories and more coming up today, Monday, October 22nd, 2018.
Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now. Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to this live Monday edition of DITV. I'm Lauren Verrell alongside Sydney Zatz.
Yes, good morning, Lauren. With homecoming week and midterms finally behind us, things are finally starting to calm down.
And while it seemed that homecoming festivities here at the UI seemed to go off without a hitch, one homecoming party at Clemson University came crashing down, literally.
Saturday night, a party hosted by one of the university's fraternities was cut short after the floor caved in beneath them, leaving more than 30 people being transported to local hospitals. We spoke to Amy Andrews on the phone, who is a senior at Clemson University. She has attended events at this venue before.
The organizations that I've been involved in here at Clemson have hosted events there. The events that I've been to haven't been like parties, but I have been to the location. It's just one of those places that you know you can do an event. It's relatively nice. You wouldn't go in there and think the roof might fall. It technically wasn't on campus. It was an off-campus apartment location, but it was hosted by a fraternity. So the video in which I saw, it was very packed and people were jumping. I think it was definitely a freak accident, and I think there were too many people there for what it could handle. This is the busiest I've seen Clemson probably ever. So that definitely had to do with how many people were here.
In a statement issued by Clemson University, they expressed their concern about partygoers, saying, quote, "We are thankful that none of the injuries appear to be life-threatening at this point. The university will continue to do whatever it can to help those who were affected by this terrible incident," end quote. This morning, local police and property management are saying that by the looks of the videos, the party was well over capacity.
The UI Afro House celebrated its 50th anniversary this past weekend. This house, amongst a few others, serve as a safe space for Hawkeyes of every background. DITV News reporter Candy Cook has more.
The Afro-American Cultural Center is one of 4 cultural houses on the University of Iowa's campus that serves as a safe space for students of color. Founded in 1968, the African American Cultural Center was founded to establish a space for Black students from different cultural backgrounds at the University of Iowa. It is for that reason that this past Friday, students, alumni, and community members gathered together to celebrate 50 years at the Afro House. The evening consisted of ceremony, speeches, dinner, and fellowship. Current Afro House coordinator Jamal Nelson shared with me the significance of the Afro House.
It's been a beacon. It is something that we shine up in the air and say, yo, you need somewhere to go find, you need some people, you need something to chill at, come to the Afro House. And I think that's a common language that people use whenever they are talking to their friends. I don't know how many students say, come to the Afro House, come to the Afro House. That to me just shows that this is a space for people to come to, be a part of, fellowship, even at the same time come for events and programs. If they need guidance, come into the space. So I think for a service for this community, it is a spot for us to always come back to and understand how we can move forward once we come out of that.
Not only does the physical Afro House build community, the memories inside do as well.
My favorite Afro House memory. I think my favorite memories are, honestly, our staff meetings.
My favorite memories used to be Sunday dinners.
I remember coming here my freshman year to the Afro House kickback, and I remember me as a little freshman, didn't know nobody, but I'm walking up to everybody, it's like, hi, my name is Fred, And then just like looking at myself now and seeing how much I have grown and how much the Afro House has been a part of my journey here. It's been amazing.
Reporting from the Afro-American Cultural Center, Kennedy Cook, DITV News.
Night Ride has rolled out a new feature to help eliminate student concerns about getting home safely. The new feature includes a Night Ride request application that was custom built by ITS. Previously, Night Ride only issued estimated arrival time for Night Ride vehicles, but other university vehicles are used to help with Night Ride, so users will now be able to see those estimated times for all vehicles, not just their custom vehicles. There is also an option for Express feature, which is where users will have the choice to pay $1 for a ride that takes them directly from their pickup spot to their final destination without stopping for other passengers. The changes implemented into the system are expected to make Night Ride more user-friendly and increase safety on campus. Today, homecoming week has been a cold one, but I know that Night Ride's kind of going to help with the weather recently getting colder.
That's right, and you know, it is Iowa, so who knows, maybe we'll see another week of summer. To tell us more about what we can expect, we have Jacob in the weather studio. Jacob?
Well, lucky for you guys, we will have some consistency. Today, we will see a high of 63 degrees with sunny skies. Moving into the night, temperatures will drop down to a chill 34 degrees with a crystal clear view of the moon. Your moon stage for this evening will be a waxing gibbous, seen right here to my right, with illumination of 95%. That means we're about 2 more days away from the infamous October full moon, so make sure that you have your silver bullets on hand for those dangerous werewolves if they tease you about your new haircut. Now, speaking of days, the next 5 are going to be quite pleasant. Tuesday will have a high of 54 and a low of 31 with sunny skies. Wednesday will have a high in the lower 50s and a low in the upper 30s with partly cloudy skies. Now, here's the important part. We will start with partly cloudy skies at around 6 p.m. with slowly increasing to a 90% cloud coverage by 2 a.m. With the full moon visible by 6:40 p.m., there will be over 7 hours of peak werewolf activity in the local area. It is highly advised that you seek shelter during this time frame until the activity can simmer down. Moving on, Thursday will have a high in the upper 40s with complete cloud coverage, and Friday will have a high in the lower 50s with mostly cloudy skies. Besides the possibility of werewolves ripping you to shreds this Wednesday night, your weather is looking pretty pleasant for the next few days. That's all I have for you in the weather studio. Back to you.
The University of Iowa is now ranked among schools with applications on the rise. An article published by USA Today placed Iowa as number 88 out of 100 schools with a 5-year increase in total undergraduate applications. Vice President of Enrollment Management Brent Gage said this may have more to do with culture and convenience. Gage also said, quote, "Students are applying to more places than ever before. The average student applies to as many as 7 schools," end quote. The creation of the Common Application has made it increasingly easier to apply to colleges and give students the ability to see how many scholarship potential schools may offer.
This past weekend during halftime, Iowa's homecoming game looked a little bit different instead of the normal marching band performance. This year marks 10 years a kid captain, and the Hawkeye Marching Band had a few tricks up their sleeves to help honor them. After performing songs themed to superhero movies, the Iowa Spirit Squad had the band called out on the university's greatest heroes, the kid captains, by lining them and their families up in the north end zone for the entire stadium to cheer on. And Lauren, I know we are both involved with Dance Marathon, so that's pretty awesome. This is why we do it for the kids.
Exactly, FTK.
And speaking of our homecoming game, it was a pretty good win for Iowa.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that game, and I couldn't believe we actually keep our winning streak going.
Well, let's keep it up, but with a recap on this weekend's game, we have John in the sports studio. Tell us more. John?
Yeah, you guys got that right. The Hawks really took it to Maryland this past Saturday. They controlled the time of possession 41 minutes to 19. And on top of that, the Iowa defense held the Terps to just 115 total yards. And we saw another awesome circus catch from Brandon Smith. Nate Stanley with the perfect pass and a one-hand snatch from Brandon Smith. The only other touchdown in the game came on this fumble recovery from Anthony Nelson when Tyrell Pigram fumbled it and kicked it into his own end zone. This secured the victory for the University of Iowa 23-0. The famous Alabama head coach Bear Bryant once said, "Offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships." And the way the Iowa football team played on Saturday, it might get some attention from the College Football Selection Committee. With more is DITV Sports Director Bo Bowman.
The Iowa defense was so dominant against Maryland this weekend, it had some wondering if it's good enough to be a championship team.
It's hard to tell. I guess next week would be a good test for us to see where we're at. So, we're going to get prepared and get ready for next week.
The defense shut out Maryland, a goal they set for every single game.
That was our goal, every game, to make sure they don't score, because if they don't score, then we win the game. So.
And the offense complemented the defense, winning the time of possession 41 minutes to 19.
So we were able to get stops, and we were doing our job all around. And then when the offense had the ball, they controlled it, and they were taking good drives and taking a lot of time off that clock.
Which makes it so much easier for the offense.
It gave us a lot of short fields, a lot of opportunities to keep the ball in our hands, with some 3 and outs,
which creates a great team balance, something Coach Ferentz loves in a team.
Defensively too, today was a very different preparation than a week ago. So can you adjust your scheme to make it work against the attacks that you see in college football? That's a big challenge.
And next week's challenge will be even bigger when the Hawks travel to Penn State to take on the number 17th ranked Nittany Lions. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium, Bo Bowman, DITV Sports.
That game at Penn State should be a good one. Last season, Penn State broke my heart like I was a toy, and they were a rampant toddler, and I'm not a player. So I do expect the Hawkeyes to be searching for some revenge this weekend. Also this weekend, Hawkeye Soccer hosted their final game of the season against the Northwestern Wildcats. The Hawks started off strong with a goal from senior Rose Ripslinger, who was assisted by Devin Burns. However, Iowa was not able to come back after a goal from Northwestern's Marissa Vigiano in the second half. The Hawks struggled on offense, which resulted in overtime play, but either team could not get the ball in the net, resulting in a tied game.
We saw 2 teams kind of fighting for a lot at stake. They needed to win, we needed to win. Became a pretty physical game, and we get a special goal from Rose Ripslinger, in the first half. And I thought the second half we didn't play as well as we should have. We missed opportunities technically and tactically.
It was such a fun day, being senior day. I love all these girls. They really gave it their all today, and that's all you can really ask for. Yeah, very disappointing, but hopefully for these girls moving on, it's nothing but motivation for next year.
Maintaining our home field unbeaten streak, which is pretty awesome to never have been beaten on our home field this season, so that was something to be proud of at the end of the season.
Unfortunately for Iowa, they did not make the Big Ten tournament, so that was their final game of the season. That's it for me in the sports studio, but be sure to come back tomorrow to hear from Iowa Athletic Director Gary Barta.
Before we go, over the weekend, our friends to the west finally won a football game. Until Saturday, Nebraska hadn't won a football game since October of last year, making their 10-game losing streak the longest in school history.
With that losing streak, Lauren, you think I was on the team. At the start of the season this year, a Council Bluffs bar decided to have a little fun at Nebraska's expense. For the past 6 games, a cooler sat under the lock and key saying, "In spirit of being Iowa nice, Barley's is offering a gift to our neighbor who is hurting." When the Big Red ends the second longest losing streak, enjoy some frosty cold beverages on us.
Well, after Saturday's 53-28 win against Minnesota, you can bet this place exploded, and the free beer didn't last too long.
And that's it for this edition of DITV.
Follow the Daily Iowan on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest news, sports, and weather.
And be sure to catch our live morning broadcasts right here at dailyiowan.com. For DITV News, I'm Sinise Atz.
And I'm Lauren Varell. Have a great day, Iowa City.